Welcome back, people of the space. Today, on rLounge, we uncover a few dirty little secrets on how important it is to learn which friends to keep around and which friends to cut loose. Sit down and join us as we dust off some of these skeletons. First up, am I the a-hole for banning my husband's female friend from our house? Throwaway account. English is not my first language. I'm on mobile. I apologize. I, 27 female, have been married with my husband, male 32, for 3 years and have been dating for a little over 5. My husband has this friend, female 31, Mary. They've known each other since they were in high school, and she's considered one of the boys, if you may. That basically means she's always invited to all the fishing trips and stuff, which I don't mind at all. I trust my husband. Well, my problems with Mary started when she first found out I'm half Romanian. It started kind of innocently, with her asking me to say certain words, teach her some insults, etc., which didn't necessarily bother me, but it was usually put me on the spot whenever we were out with my husband's group of friends. It only escalated to her Googling stuff about Romania and asking me, "Are you a vampire? Do you bite your husband by the neck?" To, "Are you a gypsy? I bet you've got some of that gypsy blood in you," which is just blatantly racist. Last week, me and my husband organized a mini barbecue with our friends, and Mary was invited, but my husband, despite me telling him she makes me uncomfortable, he said he had talked to her about her remarks, and she's been understanding, so it's unlikely she'll say something this time. It was midnight, and there were 4 of us left, and I accidentally spilled some of the red wine on Mary's jeans when I tripped over a carpet. All hell broke loose. Mary started saying that I'm a witch, and I'm trying to ruin her life, and this whole thing is part of my ritual, and I'm just an immigrant gypsy trying to ruin my husband's life. And I've poisoned my husband against her. I started crying and profusely apologizing. When she wouldn't drop it, I kicked her out and banned her from ever coming to my house again. Am I the a-hole for doing this? My husband insists that Mary was just drunk and talking nonsense, and he would talk to her. He also told me I'm way too sensitive about my heritage and I'm an a-hole for banning her. Mary has since given me a half-hearted apology, but I'm still not okay with her. Edit. I guess this is the update some of you wanted. Sorry I'm a mess, and I don't know how coherent I am. We've talked. He admitted to being in and out of an affair with Mary in the first 2 years of the relationship, and she wanted to win him back, I guess. I called my mom to come help me pack some stuff, and I'm out. That's it. Mary can have him. I've been gaslit for years, and it took a Reddit post to realize. Oh, the irony. Thank you, Reddit. Edit 2. And probably the last one for a period of time. A lot of people seem suspicious of Mary and my husband's friendship, relationship, etc., and have asked if I ever suspected anything. No, I didn't. Me and my husband had, or I thought we had, a very strong relationship, based on communication and honesty. Yes, it only applied to me. Also, Mary is very close with all the boys in the said friendship group. The other wives raised concerns in the past, but they've all been shut down by the boys in the group or by Mary herself. I guess I always respected their friendship group because they were very close for so long, and it felt unfair to change that because of me. As far as I'm aware, the other wives feel the same. Plus, Mary has been in a long-distance relationship for about 2 years and always claims she's focusing on her career. She's too busy, etc. So none of us ever saw her as a potential threat. But now it just makes me think there could be more to this story. But I'm tired as of right now. I'm just exhausted. My Romanian witch blood won't let me live until I find out the whole truth, but I need time. Thank you to everyone who took the time to reply to my post. Message me, even the ones that insulted me further. It was semi-funny. And thank you for the awards. I'm sending virtual hugs to all of you. Avedi Grija Devoi. I'm sure that was Romanian and I probably screwed it up. My apologies. Anyway, wow. I am so sorry to hear all of that you've been through with your ex-husband and Mary. She was definitely intimidated by you from the start. Clearly, she was looking for a way to tear you down and make herself feel better or look better in the eyes of your ex. Unfortunately, your heritage was a target for her, and that should never have been the case. It was very wrong of her to do. It sounds like she was trying to stay close to all of the men in the friend group so as to avoid any suspicions with any one of them in particular. As if being one of the boys and that facade might mean people would think it was just the way they behaved with each other and not question the relationships beyond that. And shame on your husband for entertaining her the way he did. Would you ever trust your partner with a close friend like Mary? If you were the OP, would you have expected anything? Let us know in the comments below. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me, the witch. I thought I'd update you because some interesting stuff happened since my post. Me and my husband, we have talked a lot, but the subject of Mary always seems to be a danger zone. He told me he isn't prepared to truly talk to me about Mary. We have tried to mend the relationship, but after a few therapy sessions, I realized I carry way too much resentment toward my ex for any kind of relationship to work. Since my ex was shutting me out, I decided to speak to Mary, as I found out through the grapevine that she wanted to tell her part of the story. Mary admitted she went through some situationships, by her description, with my ex and a couple of his other friends. The issue runs deeper though. When confronted as to why exactly she wanted me out so badly, Mary confessed that she actually got pregnant in high school, but she either doesn't know who the father is or didn't want to say it outright. I can't know for sure, but it's supposedly one of the guys in my ex's group of friends. I guess the most likely option is that the father is my ex and she didn't deny it. The child in question was put up for adoption and apparently found Mary as her biological mother a few months prior to the wine incident, which caused her to mourn the family she had to give up on in high school and sent her on a downright spiral of depression and anxiety, and made me the sole recipient of her hate, because I was the only obstacle in her way of her happy ending. By my ex's account, he had no idea Mary was pregnant in high school because she told everyone she's doing some studying abroad for a few months and no one saw her or knew what was happening. On to the witch part of the issue. Mary said she went through a phase where she was hanging out with self-proclaimed witches during high school to recover from the pain caused by having to give up her child, the PPD, etc. The witches gave her all sorts of ointments and all kinds of readings about the child's future, etc. Turns out, the witches were a fraud, which sort of gave her the firepower to hate me even more and possibly fueled her fantasy. I'm honestly not sure how much of it is true, but here we are. In light of everything I have discovered, I have to admit I do feel sorry for Mary. After seeing her perspective and talking with her, I can understand where she's coming from, but ultimately, I am not her friend and the situation is none of my business. At least not after it's been hidden from me all this time. Plus, her being dealt a bad hand does not mean she has to take everyone down with her. I haven't been in contact with Mary and my ex since the divorce, finalized in February 2021. I also did not keep in contact with my ex's friends' wives in the longer term. I appreciated the support, but it seems like my situation triggered quite a few arguments and relationship problems, and everyone sort of agreed to keep it to themselves. Thank you again, everyone. Much love. I'm sorry to hear about your marriage. Kudos to you for speaking with your ex-husband and trying to make it work, and for being open to speaking with Mary after all she did to you. Honestly, it sounds like Mary has a lot more problems than she is letting on, and she had to tear a lot of people down to make herself feel better. Just because of her so-called history with witches doesn't mean that she had to treat you the way she did. Even if what she told you is true, it's unfortunate that hurt people. It takes one heck of a person to be gracious enough to listen to her and see where she's coming from. We wish you all the best. You deserve it. Now let's see what the Reddit comments have to say. Tamaline starts us off. What a steaming pile of hot garbage. I'm impressed with how gracious you could be to Mary, who didn't deserve it. I'm also impressed that you put so much effort into your marriage before realizing that it was truly over. You handled this with style and grace, and I wish you the very best. GCA Ashby says, damn, this went deep. So she was messing around off and on with more than one of the guys in the group. What is strange to me is that why would your husband even push to have Mary around knowing that he had a sexual relationship with her at some point? It's almost like he wanted to get caught. Hope you're doing okay with yourself. Next up, a priest, a bride, and a porn star walk into a church. Am I the a-hole for asking my fiancée to remove her adult actress friend from her wedding party? I'm engaged to my fiancée and we'll be marrying in a few months. Right now, we are both still deciding on wedding parties. So she is very close friends with an adult actress. She used to work adjacent to that industry and made a lot of connections, and this one stuck. The friend is well known. Like, I'm not going to say either her real name or stage name because she could be found very easily. Her face is also very recognizable to the point where if we go out to eat with her, she will inevitably be asked for an autograph. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't disapprove of her at all. That's her business. She's great. But my family is staunchly religious. So much so that my mom said that if the wedding was not held in a chapel, she would not be attending. I know it's ridiculous, but it's my family. And it's not just her. It's that entire side with the exception of a few cousins and my siblings. This is a problem because how recognizable she is. I'll fully admit that prior to meeting her, I had watched a few of her videos just because of how viral they are. I'm sure other guys there will have seen her videos too, and if something gets mentioned or pointed out, it could cause so much drama that I really don't want to deal with on the wedding day. I also don't want attention to be taken off the woman I'm marrying because half the people there have seen one of the bridesmaids banging 6 guys at once. So when my fiance told me, I brought up my concerns and asked that she not make her actress friend a bridesmaid. My fiance was not happy. She told me that she is one of her closest friends and that she is not moving her out of the wedding just to appease my mother. I told her that I want our day to go off without a hitch, and this is just mitigating risk. I also said that I felt that she owed me one because she vetoed a groomsman of mine because he cheated on someone in the bridal party. She felt it was unfair, and now we're at an impasse. She told me that the way I was behaving was gross and I was being an a-hole. So now here we are. Am I the a-hole? We all know, no matter how religious they say they are, they're still going to use porn. This isn't some gotcha. It was said I should mention this. My parents are very wealthy, and my mother will be paying for our wedding. Weddings are stressful as it is, and emotions are always running high in the days leading up. Honestly, I think we get caught up in the fact that we try to plan weddings around what others want and what other people think. But in reality, it's the bride and groom's day. Even though your mother will be paying for your wedding, she should respect your wishes. And if any one of them were to say anything about an adult film star in the wedding party, then they're just incriminating themselves. Don't worry about what others think. Try to remember the whole point of the day, joining two people together who love each other unconditionally. The only thing that matters is the two of you. Tell us about a time where you were in the situation where you were anticipating your family's disapproval. What did you do? Did you end up pleasing your family? Alright, now let's check in with the comments. Firefly232 says, I also said that I felt that she owed me one because she vetoed a groomsman of mine because he cheated on someone in the bridal party. Your family is deeply religious, but you were going to have a cheating groomsman? How does that work? Edit to add, if the bridesmaid is wearing clothes and a different style of makeup, will they even recognize her? I doubt it very much. This is about you being a prude. You're the a-hole. Drunk on Red Cordial says, and how, pray, is this deeply religious family going to recognize an adult film actress? Anyone who recognizes her has no right to be outraged. Alert Potato chimes in, we all know no matter how religious they say they are, they're still going to use porn. That isn't some gotcha. It is actually. They don't get to pull some sort of holier-than-thou attitude about the fact that your fiance's best friend is a porn star. If they object to porn stars, they object to porn, which means they need to shut their freaking mouths lest they advertise their own moral lapses. You're already prioritizing your family and your mother over the woman you're marrying on your wedding day. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Tell your family that you're just doing as their Bible says and standing by your wife first and foremost, and if that means they won't come, then they don't need to come. Obviously, you're the a-hole here. Either put the woman you're marrying first or run back home to mommy if you'd rather make her happy. And finally, Zia Virgie says, Info. If your family is oh so righteously religious, how is it possible any of them know what her work is?